we've got a 65 Satellite with a 426 that really flies. The 1965 Plymouth Satellite is actually an upgraded trim level from the Plymouth Belvedere car model. And in this case, it's wearing code HH1 for paint, which is called copper. It's not a fancy name. It's not like mystic copper metallic poly or anything. I think this is just good old-fashioned copper, and that's about what color this is. And the car wears it really, really well. For 1965, the Plymouth team wanted to make these cars look as wide as possible, so they kind of stretched the front grille. They put the headlights as far to the corners as they could to give it that low, wide look. This design is classic mid-1960s. It's got kind of slab sides. Gone are the tail fins of the 50s. The cool thing about this particular car is that it is an all-original car except for a repaint, but the interior is original. The condition is very, very, very good. And it's fitted with the right stuff. The clean styling continues on these cars in the roofline. These were available both as a convertible and as a pillarless hardtop like this one. And if you look closely, there's this little dance here in the roofline that almost makes this look like it could be a retractable convertible. But at any rate, it's a sharp-looking car. Under the hood, you'll find the 365 horsepower 426 Wedge engine. And the Wedge name comes from the fact that the combustion chamber is shaped like a wedge. A lot of people associate the term 426 with the Hemi cars. Hemi means hemispherical shaped combustion chamber, but before the Hemi was the Wedge, and this is one of the Wedge cars. They still made a lot of power, but they didn't flow anywhere near as well as the 426 Hemi car. This car was rated at 365 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque when it was new. And the performance wasn't anywhere near as good as the legendary Hemi cars, but it wasn't bad. Carcraft did a test back in December of 1964, and they were able to get 1529 at 89 miles an hour out of one of these things, bone stock. They were a little disappointed. They said that it was sluggish off the line, but this was an automatic car that they tested too, so the manual transmission cars could be shifted a little bit faster back in the day if you knew what you were doing. Popular Science magazine did a test on one of these, and they changed the rear gear ratio to a more drag strip style 456 ratio and what they called a performance tune-up, which I'm not quite sure what that means. I'm guessing it was timing, carb jetting, maybe a more aggressive distributor advance curve. But anyway, that thing ran 1340s at 104.5 miles an hour. So, I mean, if you put the right tire on the car and did a few things, you could have something that was a very capable performer. But out of the box, these were a mid-15-second car. The interior on our Satellite is basic, but they didn't sacrifice any style. The dashboard's pretty simple. The temperature, fuel, and alternator gauges all have needles. Oil pressure's got a light, and I think the blank was for a clock. It's got a 120-mile-an-hour speedometer, but look, it's only showing 54,000 miles, and it feels like it. You know, it's a bucket seat car, and it's got an awesome-looking console, 6,000 RPM tack up top, the shifter handle coming through, and a space-age-looking piece of trim in the middle, befitting of the name Satellite. It's not very common to see a 1965 Satellite wedge car, because they only made 265 of these with the automatic transmission. They made 687 four-speeds. The real rare ones are the convertibles, but I think there's one of those in the Brothers collection as well. These are kind of a forgotten muscle car in many ways because, again, the 426 Hemi gets all the spotlight. But that's why this car is in the Brothers collection, because they like not only the high-profile Hemi cars that are super, super sought after, but they like to collect things that are maybe a little bit off the mark, like this 426 Wedge car. Hopefully you enjoyed our trip around the world. Why did you even go there? Who's that? What the hell am I talking about? I guess we could call this week Satellite TV. Yeah, that was bad. It's going to be lunchtime, I think. It's starting to go lean. All right, whenever you're ready. Oh, great. I hope you liked our copper 65 Satellite as much as we like bringing these cars to you. The Brothers collection is full of cool cars like this, and our website is full of the videos. You can see them at musclecaroftheweek.com. Please leave us a comment on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel, because we like to respond to those. We like to hear your thoughts. And we'll bring you another car next week on Muscle Car of the Week.